All right, I want to do a quick video on, we'll see how quick it is, video on reamping bass DI tracks through guitar amps. It's something I've done like my whole career. Counterparts, Defeater, Bane, I don't even know, like you name it, like a lot of the records that I've done where I want a aggressive bass tone that really complements the guitars, that's full of complex harmonics, that is both felt and heard in the mix. It doesn't have the amp DI. I'm just going to like poo-poo amp sims for a second. I love them sometimes, but like what doing this method does that amp sims don't do is that the high mid range and the like upper harmonic type stuff doesn't get so needly and annoying. I'm legitimately going to take a bass DI signal, run it through this Soldano over here, which I love, through a guitar cab, crazy, into a ribbon mic, into a Neve 1073 clone, and then into a Empirical Labs Fatso on the tracking compressor, which is effectively like my favorite compression setting for tracking. So I guess it's aptly named. So let's just have a look at that. Well, Dean, I was about to tell these guys about reamping bass DI tracks through through guitar heads and a real cab and a ribbon mic. What do you think about that?
I don't understand.
Well, if you were to watch this video, then maybe you would understand better.
I don't understand the word you say.
All right, well, we have a lot to cover. All right, how about I finish this video and then I'll come up and we'll play Bro Force.
Bruh.
Force.
Go yes.
All right, I'll see you upstairs. All right, anyway, clearly I have to make this quick. So it's a really simple thing. So let's switch over to the screen cap here. And I've got my bass. We're going to just a group channel track that I've called Bass Reamp. And I have one plugin. No, that's not true, actually. I started with one plugin, which is this Reamp Mono. This is an external instrument. So the way you set this stuff up, at least in Cubase, is you just go Reamp Mono, cool, and send and return. This is coming out of my patch bay into the amp and then through an entire signal chain, just like, you know, any guitar, amp, mic, preamp, compressor would, and then it's coming back in through a Neve 1073 clone, and it sounds great. So while I'm not like a huge reamp guy in general, sometimes it just makes sense. And a perk of reamping, regardless if it's bass or guitar, is that we can EQ before we print back into the DAW. So you can see here I've done a little bit of a mid scoop. I've got some low end compression going on. You can call it dynamic EQ or I guess multiband compression, pretty similar here. And I lopped off a bunch of stuff we just don't need. So let's check this out. I know what you're thinking, that bass tone is pretty gnarly. I agree. It's good gnarly. It doesn't have any of the, I don't know. I don't love getting distortion, especially like guitar and bass distortion, typically from non-tube sources, if I'm being totally honest. No disrespect to amp sims. I know for certain genres they're awesome. For like what we do, which I just think is like punker, more punk, less metal. I think that these harmonics and stuff like really help us complement the excitement and intensity of our sound. We're less concerned about being like precision, like genty or anything like that, and just more interested in just creating like a really, really cool, exciting tone. And it's simple stuff, right? So it's like step one, set up your external instrument, put a cable from your patch bay or whatever into your amp, mic your amp like usual, put it through the exact same kind of signal chain that if you were tracking someone, you know, who came into the studio or yourself, it's just like that. The only difference is that like you're not playing, and then just dial in something you think is cool. And the cool thing about reamping is if you've inherited stems or you've just like you know, like in this case, we've tracked it like a lot of different times. So it just made sense if I'm going to go for like our general distorted bass tone, we'd want to do it like once all the drums are tracked and we're edited and like the bass parts are effectively final. I pray they're final. So now I can do this. What I do is I just grab like a snippet of the bass track, right? We'll solo, right click, and then we're going to render. If you've seen my like vocal rendering stuff on this too, this will make a lot of sense. But render settings, we're going to go with the complete signal path, barring the master effects. So this is going to include the group track that has our like basically external instrument ramp thing going on, and we're just going to render it. Cool. So that's going to make a new track. We can just solo that. So that sounds really cool to me, at least as a starting point. So we'll Control Z our way back here. And now it's so sick. It's so easy. You just take all the bass tracks that you've sort of said to yourself, these are the bass parts that I think this tone might work for. And then you right click and you render in place and you do the whole thing. And it's going to do them all on their own. And I won't bore you with that now. And the beauty is I've got, you know, probably an hour, almost an hour of bass tracks here. I can go play Broforce with my little bro, and these will just be printing in real time while I go do something else. So it's simple and efficient, and I recommend it, and it's punk. See you next time.